Welcome to our second webinar in the online retailing series, Marketing Strategies. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second webinar in the online retailing series, Marketing Strategies. Thanks for joining us today. I am Lorna Johnson, one of the business advisors with Viatech's Digital Economy, Rapid Response, and Resiliency Program, DER3. I will start by acknowledging that the southern tip of Vancouver Island, where I currently reside, is the traditional territory of the Lekwungen people. We acknowledge with respect these people, also known as Assanges and Esquimalt First Nations communities, whose relationship with this land continues to this day. We are all grateful to live, work, and play on this unceded territory, and we acknowledge the rich resources and cultural heritage of this incredibly beautiful land. Now, on to the housekeeping for this event. As this is a webinar, all attendees are muted and unseen. We are recording the session, which will be made available on the Viatech website. Feel free to use the chat box at the bottom of your screen to engage with the group throughout the event. Make sure your note goes to all panelists and attendees, not just to panelists. There's a drop down to pick from. For specific questions for us, please put your questions in the Q&A box and not in the chat box. Now for the workshop. Today, my colleague Adam Dorval and I are presenting the second of our online retailing series of webinars, Marketing Strategies. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time, our colleague Brendan Ellis will present the third and final webinar in our online retailing series, Digital Security. All of these workshops are scheduled for 45 minutes, including question and answer sessions, and will be recorded. These workshops are being offered through the Digital Economy, Rapid Response, and Resiliency Program, DER3. DER3 was created to help Greater Victoria businesses explore and implement business tools and models to help them adapt to the business challenges of the global pandemic. I'd like to introduce my co-presenter for today and my colleague, Adam Dorval. give him a wave, and my fellow business advisor to the Viatech DER3 program. We'll be tag teaming today's presentation. A quick reminder that the information presented in this webinar is for your own professional use, and any decisions made or actions taken as a result of this information are the responsibility of the participants. In the first online retailing webinar that we did yesterday, we covered the key elements of launching an e-commerce store using an omni-channel approach. If you missed that webinar, you can check out the recording of it on the event posting from yesterday on the Viatech website. Today, we will cover marketing strategies for online retail. This will include our 6-step process to develop and deliver a marketing strategy, the critical e-commerce key performance indicators, KPIs, that drive your e-commerce business, where to go for more information and advice, and we will finish with a question and answer session. Note that you can type your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen anytime throughout the webinar. Please submit your questions in the Q&A box, not the chat box, but again, feel free to use the chat box during the session to talk to each other. Just like with a brick and mortar store, it is not enough to just build it and they'll come. In fact, it may be even more important to have an active marketing strategy to drive customers to your e-commerce site, to engage them, to get them to purchase, hopefully, multiple items, to return another day, and then to tell their friends and family about their wonderful experience. One of the key conversations that we have with our retail customers in the DER3 program who want to launch an e-commerce site is an exploration of how to build a marketing strategy for their e-commerce business. We have developed a 6-step process for them, which we find works well. First of all, start with defining your brand purpose. Then identify, create, and test customer personas. Follow this by setting high-level goals, which are supported by measurable objectives and clear strategies to achieve your objectives. Finally, plan and design specific tactics you will execute to deliver your strategies. So let's walk through each of these 6 steps.
The first step in this process is to define your brand purpose. So what is a brand purpose? Well, you might already be familiar with what's known as the Golden Circle. It's a model developed by Simon Sinek through his research into how the most successful organizations in the world think, act, and communicate. The results of that research were that every organization on the planet knows what they do. These are your products and services. Many organizations, but not all, have a good understanding of how they do it. These might be the things that are special, that can set you apart from your competition. But only truly successful organizations understand why they do what they do. This is your brand purpose. Your brand purpose is not about making money. That is a result. The brand purpose is your cause, your belief, your passion. It's the very reason your brand exists. And a brand purpose can unite your company and your customers in the pursuit of a shared intention. Customers don't buy what you do, they don't buy how you do it, they buy why you do it. Your brand purpose taps directly into the part of the customer's brain that influences behavior. And this is why the Golden Circle is considered such a powerful model. So start your strategy by clearly articulating this why. Your brand purpose will then be a compass that provides you direction throughout the rest of this 6-step process. And the next step is to figure out and document what are called customer personas. A customer persona is a fictional character created to represent a specific customer segment that you are targeting. Many of you are already familiar with what customer segmentation is. Less common, though, is the practice of creating customer personas. But the personas are widely regarded as one of the most effective ways to bring customer segmentation to life. Personas provide focus and alignment and get you and your teams away from designing for yourselves and assuming what the customer actually wants. Personas must be based on research and the analysis of real customers. Research into your customer personas can be as formal or as informal as you like. And of course, the resulting personas would therefore range from detailed to high level. But you can start doing some simple research on your own today by diving into your existing website analytics to look at keyword searches. Then you can use the Google Ads Keyword Planner tool, a free software that Google offers through their Google Ads platform, to expand your research into other keywords. This should give you a good idea of what your customers are searching for online, which will speak to their motivations and interests. You can also leverage data from social media. Your social media pages will have demographic data on your followers. But you can also look back at your past posts to see what types of content get the most engagement. If you have additional data on your customers already, like purchase frequency or average basket size, you can take that into account here as well. And of course, you can talk to your customers, either through surveys or even one-on-one conversations. So let's walk through a very simple example of a customer persona to demonstrate what one might look like. Give your customer persona a name, something to reference them by. You and your team are going to want to know each of your customer personas by name. Document demographic data for that persona. And don't be too broad here. The more diluted a persona is, the less useful it will be to you. Identify a handful of traits or attributes, that is, the commonalities between a given persona and a segment of your target customers. But what truly differentiates a customer persona from customer segmentation is behavioral information. Think about what motivates your customer. What are their interests, their frustrations, and how do they interact with you? It'll also be helpful to note down other brands that they love. I recommend you start with between 2 to 4 customer personas for your business. These, like your brand purpose, should be referred to throughout the rest of this process. Once you have your brand persona, brand purpose, and customer personas, now it's time to identify your high-level goals. In a marketing strategy, your goals are qualitative descriptors of the overall outcome that you want to achieve. Something like to be the best wine store for wine lovers, or to be the go-to natural skincare product for ingredient-conscious consumers. I'm going to use an event that I'm sure you can all relate to as an example to help explain the relationship that these next steps have to each other. So let's say we're hosting a dinner party. A suitable goal for a dinner party that is both qualitative and high level might be simply to entertain friends. With this goal in mind, the next step is to identify some objectives that support it. Unlike your goal, these are quantitative targets. So make sure that they are SMART, that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time constrained. In our example, with the goal of entertaining friends, some objectives might be to make sure everyone leaves full and to make sure they enjoyed themselves. Both of these objectives support the overall goal of the dinner party, and they're measurable. We can ask our guests if they had enough to eat and if they had a good time. Next, set out some clear strategies. These are your high-level plans for how you will achieve your objectives. Let's go back to our example. We set a goal of to entertain friends with supporting measurable objectives of ensuring the guests leave full and that they enjoyed themselves. Some clear strategies for these objectives might be to serve a tasty and filling meal and to engage in having some fun with our guests. Now, the final step in this process is to identify the specific tactics within each of your strategies. These are the actions that you will take as part of your plan. So let's finish off our example. So far, we have our high-level goal, our measurable objective, and some clear strategies for the dinner party. One of those strategies is to serve a delicious multi-course meal. Now we need to figure out the actions that we need to take within that plan. Things like cooking and serving an appetizer, cooking and serving a main course, and bringing our guests some dessert and coffee at the end of the meal. Some of the tactics we might use within the strategy of having some fun in games might be to serve a welcome cocktail and to play a social party game with our guests.
After working through the 6-step process, your marketing strategy should look something like this. Start with your brand purpose, your reason for being. A powerful brand purpose can have a major impact on how your brand is viewed in the market. It differentiates you from your competitors and ultimately can be a driving force behind your success as a business. Today's consumers care about more than just your product or service. They care about what kind of impact brands are making in the world. Your brand purpose, therefore, should be leveraged throughout your entire marketing strategy. Developing client personas is the second step in this process. Well-defined personas will help you to understand the expectations, concerns, and motivations of your customers. There is a saying amongst product managers and marketers, you are not your customer. And customers are who customers are. Personas help you cater to your customers' needs and design products, services, and marketing campaigns that will therefore be a success. Your customer personas help to anchor your marketing strategy along with your brand purpose. They inform your marketing strategy all along the way and should be considered throughout. Next, determine your goals, the qualitative and high-level descriptions of what success will look like. Underneath your goals, identify the measurable objectives that make up the targets within the goals. These are the quantitative, SMART outcomes for your marketing strategy that Adam described. KPIs and marketing metrics are key here. They enable you to evaluate progress along the way and assess your results. Without these measures and benchmarks, you will have no way of knowing if your strategies and tactics are successful in reaching your goals. Then develop clear strategies for each objective. These are your high-level plans of how you will achieve each of your objectives. Finally, plan the specific tactics within each strategy that you have identified. These are your detailed initiatives, such as advertising, promotions, channel development, and content. The actions you will take within your marketing strategy. Each piece of this process has a unique role to play and a specific relationship to the others. Done the right way, this 6-step process will help you effectively market your online retail business. It is key that you measure, learn, and adapt as you implement your marketing strategy. Once you have your e-commerce site up and running, You'll want to know how your marketing strategies and online business are performing. You want to have a good feel for how your business dances. What will happen if you pull this lever or launch that marketing campaign or have this sale or change product suggestions? Those are the things people who bought this also bought that. Or what will happen if you improve the product reviews on your site or even tweak the look and feel on a specific page? You'll want to know how your customers did react and will react, and how your customers did behave and will behave, so you can tweak the customer experience and improve it over time to meet your goals and objectives.
Yeah, it's really critically important to integrate analytics directly into your marketing plans. So measure, learn, and adapt should be a mantra that you keep throughout your online retail marketing. So let's explore what I call the big three of e-commerce key performance indicators, or KPIs. There are dozens and dozens of KPIs that are important in e-commerce and online marketing. Different channels even have their own key performance indicators, but that goes beyond the scope of today's workshop. So for now, I want to focus on the big three and explore how different marketing channels and tactics may impact them. The first of the big three is traffic. Traffic is the overall number of visitors to your website. This is probably the one that most people think of when they think of website performance. The second KPI is conversion rate. The majority of traffic to your website will not result in a sale right then and there. Conversion rate is the percentage of traffic that does make a purchase. So if 500 people visit a website and 5 of them make a purchase, then the conversion rate for that website would be 1%. The third one is average order value, abbreviated as AOV. This is the average dollar value of transactions made on your e-commerce website. So if 5 purchases were made on the website that total $500, and then the average order value for the site would be $100. Now, these 3 KPIs fit together. Traffic times conversion rate times average order value equals your top line sales. 500 visitors times a 1% conversion rate times an average order value of $100 equals the $500 in total sales. So as you can imagine, changes to any one of these will result directly in changes to your online sales, and they each have different strategies and tactics that can affect them. So let's talk traffic first. When marketing your e-commerce business, some of the major channels and tactics that can drive traffic are organic and paid search. Google is a key channel for driving website traffic, and there are 2 major approaches: organic and paid. Organic search is the discipline of optimizing both the technology, but more critically, the content on your website in an effort to raise the relevancy of your website for specific searches. Higher relevance for a search means your website will show up higher in the results for that search. When you hear the acronym SEO, that usually refers to organic search. Paid search, however, involves actively bidding on specific keywords in an effort to have a search advertisement display above organic search results. Display advertising refers to the process of advertising through visuals like images and videos on other websites. We all encounter these every day on the internet: banner ads on news websites, pre-rolls on YouTube videos, and sometimes the controversial retargeting ads. Email marketing is another great way to drive traffic to your website, though it does require additional attention towards building a list of subscribers. But in fact, for e-commerce retailers, website traffic driven by email marketing typically has the highest conversion rates of all digital marketing channels. Social media in addition to being an effective content and brand engagement channel, can also drive traffic to your e-commerce storefront. And affiliate networks are yet another high converting way to drive traffic for e-commerce retailers. These are just some of the channels you can use to drive the traffic KPI of your e-commerce business. And as I mentioned, some of the channels and tactics that drive traffic also have an impact on conversion rate. But a lot of the heavy lifting for driving conversion rate is done by your website itself. It needs to be acknowledged that your website, even if it's e-commerce, is probably your biggest marketing channel, as well as being a sales channel. As a result, your website design plays a critical role in driving conversion rate. The easier it is for your customers to find what they need, the more likely they'll be to make a purchase. Your website look and feel will also play a critical role in supporting your brand and building trust with your customers. Your site's performance can have an impact on the overall customer experience. And as a result, it can affect your website's conversion rate. Slow page loads and broken links will quickly frustrate website visitors and lessen the likelihood of them making a purchase. On-site search is the #1 way that people navigate websites that they visit. This behavior has been trained into us all through decades of Google's domination. And as a result, the performance and accuracy of your on-site search will have significant impacts on your conversion rate. As an online retailer, your shipping policy can have a huge impact on conversion rate. Like what Google has done with search, expectations around shipping have been ingrained into customer behavior by the likes of Amazon. High shipping costs are the #1 cause of visitors leaving a website without making a purchase. Merchandising is the strategic display and arrangement of products, and it plays a critical role in e-commerce conversion rate as well. It can also have significant impact on your average order value. Your product content, like images, descriptions, specifications, sizing charts, it's another key contributor to e-commerce conversion rate. Good product content builds trust and markets the product on your site. And it also has significant impacts on traffic driven through organic search. Product reviews can also play a significant role in website conversion. Good quality product reviews can significantly improve the likelihood of making a sale. Many of the tactics that drive traffic and conversion rate can also have an impact on your website's average order value, or AOV. But there are some specific things that you can do to drive average order value. Cross-selling and upselling products can increase the chances of visitors finding the right product, but more importantly, they can result in customers adding additional or higher priced products to their order. Product bundling is another way to increase your website's average order value by packaging multiple products together at a higher price point. And you can leverage shipping promotions to drive your AOV. Using a shipping threshold promotion, for example, like free shipping for orders over $100, can increase the average order value of purchases made on your website. Even if your average order value is already over that shipping threshold that you've set, it actually encourages the shoppers that are below that threshold to add more products, increasing the overall average. Consider, though, that a high shipping threshold may negatively affect conversion rate. There's lots of other things that can impact your e-commerce KPIs, but hopefully by now you have a good understanding of the big three, as well as how you might go about leveraging different marketing tactics and channels to improve them in your e-commerce business.
It is important to avoid the build it and they will come approach. So really think about how you market your online store. Take time to work through these 6 steps. Define your brand purpose or review what you already have. Is it relevant? Does it need a refresh? Conduct the research and create customer personas with names and descriptions. Leverage your brand purpose and your customer personas as you build your high-level goals, your measurable objectives, your clear marketing strategies, and your specific marketing tactics. Think about your tactics from the perspective of the big three e-commerce KPIs: traffic, conversion rate, and average order value. And always measure, learn, and adapt as a routine part of managing your e-commerce marketing. And above all, enjoy the journey. For more information, go to the Vitek website. There is information on events and on the DER3 program that Adam and I are a part of. The DER3 program advice includes an intake assessment, an online presence assessment, and individual advice on the specifics of your digital business model, specific tools, and provision of digital service providers that can support digital implementations at a cost, and subject matter experts who can give advice on specific topics. And don't forget, tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we will have a third and final webinar in this series, Online Retailing. It will be presented by our colleague, Brandon Ellis, and the topic is digital security again.
Thanks, Lorna. We do have some time for our Q&A session here. Remember to put your questions in the Q&A section, not the chat box. That way they pop up for us. Let's see here. So here's a question, Lorna. How much should I spend on paid search versus investing my time in organic search?
Oh boy, we get this question quite a bit. It actually depends on the specifics of your business, your products, and competition. And we find that the organic search SEO is what we often call it, organic search and paid search work better together, but it's important to balance the two and obviously to measure and find out what's working for you. And because the answer is so specific, I encourage you, if you haven't already, sign up to be part of the DER3 program, and we can talk about the specifics of your business and what will work for you.
Awesome. Awesome. So what if I don't have somebody on staff who's a good content writer? Is there somewhere that I can go to get help?
Yeah, so content is really important. Sometimes and often you can get good content from your brand vendors themselves. They often have content you can use and targeted to your customers. You can also hire a content writer that is specialized in knowing keyword density, marketing content, writing specifically for online retail businesses. They won't necessarily be a subject matter expert in your business in particular, so you'll have to work with them, but they will often help you get the right content, which will have the right effects and help you achieve your goals and your objectives.
Excellent. So how do I actually see my KPIs? Do I need to have a plugin or export the data or do any kind of calculations?
We found this with a number of our clients that their website already has Google Analytics or something like that. And Google itself has some really good tutorials on how to use analytics. So if you look those up, you may be able to figure out how to use the analytics that you already have. And one thing is, don't be afraid to go into your site and look around and look at the data. It's read-only data and you won't break anything. So have a good play. And again, we can give you more advice if you're part of the program.
Is there value in name brand identification rather than in-house branding, or does this simply encourage comparison shopping?
Oh boy. Well, the first answer is it depends on your specific products. It depends on your customer personas and how they research, how they shop, how they make their selection. And I think that's one of the reasons that we start the whole process with your brand purpose to help you as a business stand out against the competitors. And Adam, anything to add here?
Yeah, I think comparison shopping is, especially in the e-commerce world, a reality that we just have to grapple with. It's so easy for customers to bounce around and compare prices and products and things like that. And it really puts that extra emphasis on your customer experience and your brand purpose. And that's really, some of the best ways to combat behaviors like showrooming or comparison shopping. It looks like that is all the questions we have for now.
Right. Well, we thank everyone who has tuned in today. A reminder that you'll be able to access the recorded versions of the webinar once we've posted them on the Viatech website. We hope to see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. for our digital security webinar, which is presented by Brandon Ellis. Thank you again, and bye-bye.